Hi everybody, I think that we have come to the time to let you know who we actually are.
Indeed.
So we're going to start speaking about Martin. So Martin, this is going to be an interview with you, and I would like to ask you where you actually come from.
Come from, well, I was born in London, in England, London, England, but I spent most of my adult life on a beautiful little island called Guernsey, which is the Channel Islands, which is actually close to France, but it's actually part of Great Britain. And
Okay, how big is that island?
square kilometres, land that's usable is only 63 square kilometres.
Mm-hmm. Do you actually use pounds there on that island, or?
Yes, there are. It is pound sterling because we are connected with the UK,
Mm-hmm.
but the islands produce their own versions of pounds.
So do you actually mean that you have different money than in England?
Yes,
Wow, that's fantastic.
paper money and coins.
Mhm. But the currency is the same.
Currency is exactly the same. It's one on one, one to
Mhm.
one.
Okay, what else is different in Guernsey?
Weather,
Mhm.
it's that little bit further south, so it's that little bit warmer.
Mhm.
The island is surrounded by the Gulf Stream, so in wintertime, it's very, very rare for it to snow or even for that matter to be frosts. But when it does snow,
Mhm.
everything stops.
You have the capital.
There is a capital. You could argue that the whole island is actually very similar to a big European city. Because everything is connected. There's no big spaces between the towns or the little villages. Everything is joined.
Mhm.
But the capital is known as St. Peter Port.
And what about the people who live on the island? Are they special, or what language do they speak?
Okay. The official language is English and has been for generations, for hundreds of years. But there is a version of French called patois, and it was all but dead 15, 20 years ago. And now you can go to an evening class and you can actually learn
Mhm.
how to speak it. It is not a written language. Very little of it written down, which
Mhm.
is part of the reason why it nearly died, because it's only a spoken language.
Mhm.
It's crazy because the two major islands, you can actually visually see each other,
Mhm. Mhm.
and both islands have a different version of patois.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll probably continue speaking about Guernsey and the bailiwick of Guernsey later on. And now, tell me something about your interests. What do you like?
I like photography. I like now more sort of designing using computers to create things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I like being with my family, with my children. Um, I like life.
mm-hmm. Okay. And what is your attitude towards sport?
I did sports, active sport, years ago. Um,
So marriage stopped it, yes?
no, I wouldn't say that. Um,
Okay.
but
Fine. Right. So tell us, what sports do you actually like watching or doing?
in the past, I actually, when I was a teenager, I actually played a very active sport called squash.
Mm-hmm.
And later in life, I played a game, very English game. It is now getting more and more worldwide. but I don't know of many tables here in Slovakia, possibly Bratislava, maybe. And it's the game of snooker. Very similar to billiards, and it's very similar to pool, American pool, but a British snooker table is about 4 times the size of an American pool table. So it's not as easy as it looks.
Thank you. Now, a couple of words about Martin from me. Martin is my husband, and we have been married for over 10 years. We've got 2 little children. Johanna is nearly 7 and Eliash is 1 year and 1 month. And I have to say that he's not only my husband, but he's my best friend, and we share everything together. That's why we work from home. We run 2 of our businesses together, and we live in a beautiful area of the High Tatras in Slovakia. And we have been living here for 5 years, but before we lived in the Czech Republic, and we lived in Teplice v Čechách, which is north from Prague.
Indeed.
And what I like about Martin is that he is a real English gentleman. And you can see it. You can see the roses that he brings me every Friday. Thank you very much, Martin.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.